Lamar Jackson, who is not a Tier 1 quarterback. According to the Athletics poll of coaches and evaluators, reigning MVP got praise from one executive who called him, quote, the most dominant guy in the league. But on the flip side, every quarterback that was ranked higher than Lamar has won a playoff game, and the Ravens star is winless in 2 trips to the postseason. Lamar was left out of the top 5. But these quarterbacks made the exclusive club. Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson were both unanimous choices for the top spot. They're followed by Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Deshaun Watson. So, Acho, issue with Lamar not being voted a Tier 1 quarterback.
Do I have an issue? Of course. That was one of the most ridiculous things I have seen, bro. But it's simple, Marcellus. Let me tell you why it's simple. A quarterback, what's their job? Their job is to galvanize the team.
Yeah.
Their job is to get the hands into the ball of the playmakers. The issue with Lamar Jackson with so many people is he is the playmaker. And so when you think of a quarterback, you think, well, how well can he throw the ball as a spiral? How can he throw the ball into a trash can from 35 yards away? That's what so many of these people who looked at these Tier 1 quarterbacks evaluated by. But when I look at Lamar Jackson, it is so clear. How well can a quarterback lead his team? How well can a quarterback distribute it into the hands of his playmakers? Patrick Mahomes, what makes him so special, he can get the ball into Tyreek Hill's hands. He can get the ball into Travis Kelce's hands. He can get the ball into Sammy Watkins' hands.
Sometimes.
He can create a time.
Where's Sammy at?
Hey, exactly. But Lamar, he is the playmaker.
There you go.
And so he doesn't have to get it into as many people's hands because as long as the ball is in his hands, that's the key. So Lamar should be Tier 1 unequivocally without a doubt because he is that caliber of quarterback. He just doesn't fit the mold, Marcellus.
Oh, the mold.
He doesn't fit the mold.
What's the mold? We going there already?
He doesn't fit the mold of your traditional 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", prototypical kind of pocket passing. Let me make sure that I can just sit here from the pocket and throw the ball. He doesn't fit that mold, but Lamar is still top tier. He's still top 3 caliber and talent.
We're not going to have an uncomfortable conversation?
I don't want to go there just yet, bro. I don't want to go there
about this black quarterback. Look, what are you supposed to do? Throw it to himself? If you want Lamar Jackson to get the ball into the best playmaker on his team, he is going to throw it to himself.
Facts.
Absolutely, he's a top-tier quarterback, Tier 1. It's amazing that he could throw so well for a receiver. I mean, running back. Sorry. Oh, my God. My bias is leading me in terms of my evaluation of Lamar Jackson. That's what I felt when I read this article and saw the rankings. Now, I will respect that everyone in front of him has won a Super Bowl, or it's Deshaun Watson who did win a playoff game, or Buffalo gave him a playoff game, or Josh Allen throwing the ball backwards. I don't know what happened. Anyway, he won a game that Lamar Jackson has not won in 2 trips to the playoffs. That said, let's say what Lamar Jackson has done. How about a 19-3 regular season record with 2 of those losses only to who? The best quarterback in the game today, Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about how Lamar Jackson was drafted to be behind a franchise quarterback who was overpaid, underperforming by the name of Joe Flacco. He started the season on the bench holding the clipboard to somebody he was better than. He didn't finish the season holding that clipboard, resurrected that team's year, saved Coach John Harbaugh's season and his job, went out there and went to the playoffs. Had to play the San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers, 2 times in 3 weeks. That's a recipe for disaster for a rookie. Comes back the next year, oh, y'all think I can't throw. First game, Miami Dolphins, 5 touchdowns. Kept it going to the tune of leading the league in passing touchdowns, leading the league to the tune of becoming the MVP, most valuable, most dominant player. But now he's not Tier 1. I'm going to take some shots in my next lap at a couple of guys that maybe Lamar Jackson should be inserted in front of.
So let's just talk quarterbacks, because people watching this are like, okay, we get it, y'all, but talk to me about Lamar Jackson, the quarterback, not Lamar Jackson, the runner. I would argue that Lamar has more on his plate than any other quarterback in the National Football League, and here's why. First, let's talk about Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. 3 games last year, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Last time we saw that, 2007, Tom Brady. Tom Brady did it at the age of 30. Lamar Jackson in his second NFL season at the age of 22. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the quarterback. Lamar Jackson, what was it? 36 passing touchdowns on 401 attempts. That's nearly a passing touchdown every 9% of the times he throws the ball. So let's just talk about the quarterback play. But now let's talk about what he does that nobody else does. In the NFL, no quarterback has ever had over 600 yards rushing with the completion percentage that Lamar Jackson had last year, 66%. So if you want to talk about facts, if you want to talk about truth and not opinions, then that's what Lamar Jackson does. So you could argue that Lamar actually does more than any quarterback because he's an incredibly proficient and efficient runner while at the same time still being an efficient passer. That's not a lot of people can say that when Lamar Jackson can.
And he can say that. And in a losing effort in the playoffs, he also can say, hey, man, I had 508 total yards. Ain't my fault my coach lost his mind because we come into the game with a hobble running game and Mark Ingram decides to throw the ball 59 times. Like, we just abandoned our plan prematurely and put it all on Lamar Jackson, and he tried his best. He obviously had some miscues, some turnovers, etc. But still, tier one, yes. This is why I know he's tier one. Anytime I've ever seen any kind of list or club, I always think to myself, am I better than the worst person on that list?
Okay.
So in tier one, is he better than the worst person on that list?
Okay.
And I'm going to take shots because I got to get paid too. My job is over here to tell you that Aaron Rodgers going forward and Deshaun Watson going forward, I'm not taking them over Lamar Jackson going forward. Now, I'm not taking shots at what they've done in their body of work, but it's also just to highlight what I think going forward. Aaron Rodgers, when they listed him, they said, well, we're not going to blame his regression on him. We're going to blame it on the weapons around him. Oh, really? Oh, okay. And if he were in the right system, he might be better. Maybe in year 2 in this Matt LaFleur system, he'll be better. Oh, really? Sounds like a lot of reputational bias to me. Like, we're just going to excuse that, oh, he doesn't have it around him. Oh, we're going to excuse that he's in the new system. I thought Lamar Jackson's in the new system too, but we ain't gonna go there. And he couldn't throw them out of their deficit in the playoffs against San Francisco. One of the things that they used against Lamar Jackson. How about this, Deshaun Watson? They talk about him and saying he's better than Lamar Jackson, which I can respect that argument. I can even make that argument. But the thing is, give Lamar Jackson and that Ravens team last year 24 points spotted on the Kansas City Chiefs. You think that the Chiefs gonna come back on them? I don't know. I don't think that they would. So my point is, if he's better than the worst in there and they're all great, then you gotta put him in there, top tier 1 for Lamar Jackson. Let's move on to another quarterback. Ooh, Dak Prescott, who might he got a problem with this list as well. Dak was ranked the 12th best quarterback in the league, which placed him near the bottom of the second